everybody, and welcome to our 11-11-hour brainstorming session with our group member, Chris Hall. You may have seen Chris Hall in our Help Me Build My Business Australia group. He's a bit of a jokester, and he's the founder of Wheel for MND. What is Wheel for MND? Chris has started his own charity, or the beginnings of what he'd like to be a registered charity, and we're here to brainstorm with him tonight about his charity, see how we can get it registered, and a whole heap of other things. So would you like to say hello, Chris?
Just trying to find. Here we go. Here, my camera. Hello, everyone. Thank you for putting this on. It's been great.
Yeah. So, what is Wheel for MND about? So, Wheel for MND was founded by Chris Hall after he witnessed one of his work colleagues suffering with this horrible disease called Motor Neurone Disease. And Jenny actually passed away from this. Chris learnt that MND actually has no cure. And in Jenny's honour, he's been on a mission for years and years, raising funds to help find a cure for this. Can you tell us more about this, Chris? We'd love to hear how all this came about.
Yeah, back in 2014, 2015, well, to start with, I used to do volunteer work for the local hospital or the local aged care facility. And Jenny was a nurse, and every year Jenny would come around with the flu vaccinations, and we got on, really well, talking, getting to know each other, and just having a general chat. And then one year she wasn't there, so I asked the nurse who was in place, where was Jenny, and they said, Jenny has got MND. And I looked at the other nurse blankly, and I said, MND. And they said, you don't know what that is, do you? And I said, no, I don't. And they said it's at that stage, and still today, there's no cure, there's no treatment. So to put it bluntly, it's a death sentence.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, about 14 months later, Jenny passed away. So yeah, that's sort of how it started. And then I thought, so I thought, this can't happen. How can there be a disease, in 2020 or, 2010 or, in the 2000s, having a disease with no cure and no treatment? So, I decided to, try and raise some funds.
Yeah. Oh, I got to commend you for that, Chris, because what you've done it's truly inspiring. Let's have a look at some of the things you've achieved. So these are going to be Wheel for MND's achievements. This is what Chris has done over the years. So Chris has raised over $49,000 towards motor neurone disease research. How have you done that, Chris? Tell us how you've managed to do that, because that is incredible, mate.
It's a huge achievement.
It's massive.
I've done raffles.
Yep.
I've done chocolate drives.
Mm-hmm.
I've had dinner events. I've had music events. And people have just found out about me, and they've donated to my donation link that I have, that we'll see shortly. And the first year I started, I set myself a target of $1,500 for the whole year. And when people found out what I was doing, without a word of a lie, that donation, that amount, went in the first month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I thought I might be on a bit of a wing here. So going through the months and months of the first year, I ended up raising around about $9,000 to $10,000 in the first year.
Wow.
So I thought, if I can set that target of each year of between 9,000 and 10,000, I'd be very happy. But of course, we had COVID for 2 or 3 years. That really set me back quite a lot.
Yeah.
And also I had my own illness, so I was out of action for about 6 months. So so unfortunately, those 3 or 4 years of not being able to fundraise kind of set me back a little bit. But I've caught up a little bit now and getting close to the 50,000.
You're incredibly close, Chris. Incredibly close.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in 2018, you received the Pride of Australia Award for your charity work with Wheel for MND.
I did, yes, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. That's amazing. Seriously, that's really good effort, Chris.
Yeah, I sort of put it up on Facebook and I said, if people think I'm worthy of this award, please nominate me. Obviously, I got nominated, and this time was the first time that they have like one category. So there was different people in different fields. They're all put into the one category, and I was the winner of that whole year.
That's really cool.
You might have actually seen, it's called Pat's Foundation, I think it's called, and the parents, their child was involved in a one punch. He was a one punch victim. He went out. Yeah. He went out with his mates one day and never came home. So that they were part of they got an award as well. But yeah, I was, blown away that I was the actual winner of one of the winners of the Pride Australia Award.
Yeah, you deserve some recognition after raising $49,000. That's
exactly.
Incredible. That's amazing. And each year you've been presenting these checks to MND Victoria, the CEO, at the Rock Off MND event in honour of Jenny, which is very commendable, Chris.
Yes, yeah. So this Rock Off MND, before Jenny passed away, she was the creator of Rock Off MND.
Okay.
And it's like a music concert. They have it at Deakin every year.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's been good.
And what else? So I skipped a slide. Whoops. So this one was meant to say, so what are you currently up to? How are you raising donations? What are you currently up to? So you're selling Wheel for MND themed key rings at the moment to raise donations.
That's correct.
To get to your total. And this one I think is awesome. Chris has a group on Facebook where he keeps track of all this, so you can see this each month. He wheels around the town. He's confined to a wheelchair himself. He wheels around 50 kilometres a month to raise awareness for motor neurone disease. But currently, Chris has injured his wrist. So he's had to put his goal on hold. What happened to your wrist, Chris?
I was transferring from my chair to my bed.
No.
And I slipped. And I jarred my wrist. And it's been sore for about 6 weeks.
Oh no.
So I went to the doctors. The doctors said we'll have an X-ray. I got the results just yesterday. There's no break. Thank goodness. Exactly. So he thinks it's just soft tissue injury.
Okay, so no more wheeling for a little bit, eh?
A little bit, yeah, and probably just get some physio or something on it.
Yeah, get some physio, get you back rolling around the town.
Exactly. Yeah, yep. Like Eminem.
Yep. And so if everyone wants to go have a look, or you want to find Chris's stuff throughout this live so you can see what's going on and what it's about, he's got his website. So he's got willformnd.org. He's also got a Facebook page, facebook.com, willformnd, and the word 4 is the number 4. He's also got a Facebook group. Search Will for MND for that one. He's on Instagram, Will _ the number 4 _ MND. And Chris takes his donations towards his cause at chuffed.org/project/Will4MND. And let's get into it, Chris. Let's see what we got on our little map here.
Yep, sounds good.
So we'll start with this. Let's go up a bit. Oops, sorry. There we go. Okay, so we asked Chris his goals before the live stream. His main kind of goals and things he'd like to achieve. And this one we thought was one of the main big ones. Right now, Will for MND isn't registered as a not-for-profit charity, but Chris would like to register it as a not-for-profit charity. To do so, I believe, costs a few $1,000s, and obviously this isn't something Chris is able to afford on his own. So what we'd like to do is brainstorm a few ideas of how Chris could go about either getting sponsored or donations towards this, or how we can sort of go about making this happen for him. We've got another few goals. We'll read out the next one as well. And please, if you've got suggestions for any of this, pop them in the comments. Tabitha's going to read them out, and we'll key them in here. So goal 2, Chris would like to create more Will for MND merchandise collaborations. So he was saying he'd like to do this with some more members through our group, Help Me Build My Business Australia, and other viable sources where he can sell these items to raise funds for donations towards MND research via Will for MND. So if anyone has any ideas or would like to collaborate with Chris, please pop that in the comments. He would love to talk to you. Whoops, I've gone a bit out of there. Hang on. And his third goal that we spoke about is he would like to get in contact with some local sporting clubs. I've spelt the word sporting wrong. He would like to get in touch with some local sporting clubs, either football clubs, cricket clubs, soccer clubs, tennis, things like that. And he'd like to organise and hold a yearly fundraiser for Will for MND. So he'd like to raise some more donations towards his total and hit that 50K or above. He would also like some tips on how Chris could write some professional letters and emails for his fundraising, trying to gain sponsorships and gaining merchandise collaborations with people. So if anyone's got any suggestions on that, that would be great. Pop that in the comments. And Chris would also like help with finding a full-time / long-term sponsor for Will for MND events and fundraisers that he'd like to hold. And his personal goal by the end of this year, he would like to have hit the $55,000 donation mark to put towards motor neurone disease research, which is incredible. And then our next little slide is just any suggestions or tips people have, we're going to key them in there. So would you like to talk about goal 1, Chris?
Yeah. It, it's always been a goal of mine, well, probably since the start, to register Will for MND as a not-for-profit. But as you've said, the cost is just out of my reach. So I've been putting it off and putting it off. And other members of my group have said, well, why don't you use some of the money that's coming from donations to cover that cost?
Yeah.
But I said that money is coming from donations. That money is for to go to MND Victoria. I feel, and I've got different ideas. I feel that those sort of things shouldn't be used, for registering something.
Yeah.
That's people's hard-earned money
Mhm.
for donations.
Yeah,
Um,
they've given it for a purpose and you want to
exactly,
use it for that specific purpose. That's very
exactly.
commendable. And that's
Yeah,
the correct way to go about it, I believe, Chris.
yeah, yep.
Um, have you ever tried to set up a separate sort of donation page specifically for this? Or have you thought of it?
I haven't, but that has been mentioned. To set up another fundraiser link. Yeah, which
Yeah,
that's probably another avenue I can go down.
yeah. I think personally, I think that would be a good start. Um, I wouldn't go touching the money you've raised already for obvious reasons. That should be put to what it's for. But I do believe if you'd set up something separately to that, specifically for that purpose, I think that would be a good start. Um,
Yeah, yep.
Hey guys,
and
we have a question from Kiandra. Have you looked into grants from the government, Chris?
I haven't. Um, I sort of haven't known where to look.
yeah,
For those sort of things. Is that a federal thing or is it a state thing or
Hmm.
um,
Yeah, well, she's also further added, have you thought about using like GoFundMe or I guess what you're using already, the platform that you use already, to raise some separate funds? I guess that's the plan, I assume. Is that what you're
yeah,
aiming to do? Maybe a separate fundraiser for that, a completely different, it could even be a completely different keyring or a completely different merchandise item, where the funds from that particular item perhaps fund the future goal of becoming a not-for-profit.
okay, yeah, yep,
Just an idea.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, we've
Right.
got another one.
Yeah.
Kiandra also says she'll share a website from the government. Some are federal and some are state. So that'll be really helpful, Kiandra. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Back to you guys.
Yeah, just in regards to the GoFundMe, when I first started fundraising, I had a GoFundMe page,
hmm
but then I found that GoFundMe were taking quite a chunk for their percentage.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
fees and stuff. Yeah,
so I thought, no, I can't. Say for example, people will donate $100. Then 10% of that goes to their admin fees and whatever. So whereas so GoFundMe is a good suggestion, but yeah, just unfortunately they take too much of each person's donation.
what is because you're using a platform called Chuffed. What are their fees like, Chris?
I think it's like 1.5 to 2%.
Okay,
So
what's GoFundMe?
I think they were about 8 to 9%.
Ooh, okay,
So I
it's
mean,
quite a difference.
1.5% is still a lot, but it's a far better than 8 or
Different
9.
than 9. Yeah, it's a lot different than 9.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would stick with chuffed if I were you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Has anyone got any other suggestions on ways or things Chris could do, or any directions to sort of point him in regards to goal 1?
So
you-
Keandra's actually shared a link, Cherry,
Right.
for a business.gov.au link, where you can actually go and look at grants and programs to see what is available state to state. So that's something, and there's a link in the comments for Chris after the live. And also she mentioned that there are also people who can apply for grants on behalf of you and write them for you. So maybe there is somebody out there listening who would be interested in volunteering for that, for Chris, because Chris is obviously struggling in this area. That might be the helping hand that would really, step up the major goal of becoming a not-for-profit.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful idea. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, Keandra's great. She's put the link in the comments and everything for you, Chris. So she's all organised.
Thank you.
Right, we'll stick that one in there. We'll go to slide 2, goal 2. So he would like to create more Wheel for MND merchandise. So how Chris has been doing this is say he purchases an item, gets it made and printed with his logo on it, and say it cost him $10. Chris might sell this for, say, $20. 10 of those dollars is getting donated directly to his Chuffed account. The other 10 pays for the product he's just purchased and created. So is there anyone out there that is interested in perhaps making a collaboration of some sort with a custom item or something that is related to either MND or someone in the disability sector, community, sorry. Please speak up and reach out to Chris. What does anyone have any ideas on what kind of, well, I'm going to ask you first, Chris, what kind of merchandise do you think people want, or what is relevant to your audience?
Well, I know MND Victoria, they have beanies, which now that it's getting a bit cooler, that's something that I'd perhaps look at.
Yep.
Stubby holders.
Okay. Yep.
Drink bottles. Those sort of things. And wristbands, maybe. The wristbands.
Yeah, like the Beyond Blue ones we've got. Yep.
Yeah. So it's, there's a few things. And I've actually collaborated with Joker's Custom Stickers. They did my keyrings for me. So
Yes.
just a little bit of a shout out to them. They did a wonderful job.
Yeah, they did. I'm just jumping in because Keandra's actually she's on fire tonight. She's got some ideas for you. She says print on demand items, which is basically what you're doing with Jokers. That way you don't have to touch them. You ship them, and you've got no overheads. Any profits then go to your mission. She also continued on and said you can print on demand beanies, stubby holders, drink bottles, stickers, glasses, and mugs. The world is your oyster, Chris. There's so many options. I guess it's all about the design. Maybe there's somebody out there that would lend a hand with some design. I don't know, just a thought.
No. So the print on demand is like, say I want to do coffee cups. for example, which I've got one anyway.
Well,
That's
with
it.
print on demand, Chris, what it is, so you just have to rock up with the design, mate. You sign up for an account, you pick your supplier, and definitely do your research. You just need your designs preset ready to go for prints. So you want transparent backgrounds, you want 300 dpi, which dots per inch or pixels per inch. So you want a good quality picture, decent size, not a little picture. And you just go and upload your image onto their website. So they'll have a preset bunch of all different items you can choose from. They'll have socks, t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, hats, beanies, all the things you mentioned before, everything. And you just go, yep, I want this, tick them all, boom, 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 set them up. They'll have a preset price that they need. So they might say, I need $20 for this item. You can say, okay, I want to make $10 off this item. So you sell it for 30. Customer will come in. They'll come to your shop. Yep, I want to buy that item. Say it's a t-shirt. Yep, I want to buy that t-shirt from Chris. They pay for it. Bam, bam, bam. It's all automated. It goes straight through to the print on demand company. They will get the order. They see all your customers' shipping information. They make it, ship it, boom, done. That's it.
So
you keep the $10 difference and try and sell more.
okay, because I know when I did my mugs a couple of years ago, I had to order a minimum of, I think it was 10 mugs, for free posting. So this is completely different. So all the orders go to them. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So basically you can either have your own, you can integrate it into your own website, or embed it. Maybe you could embed it. You'd have to look into the coding stuff of that, but yeah, you would, or they would have a page with a little, you can pick your own URL and it might say whatever, the printondemand.com/wheel for MND. And that would be your link, and it's got your little shop front there. But it's all preset, ready to go. You just upload your design, pick your price, what you want, and then you get the difference once the sale's made.
Okay, cool.
So great suggestion, Keandra. That one he should definitely look into. Or you can do a very similar thing to that in person, just like you are with Rhett from Joker's Custom Stickers. So
Speaking of Rhett, he's saying, hey all, so Rhett's on. So big shout out to Rhett from Joker's Custom Stickers, who has been an incredible supplier of key rings for Chris. Keandra has also asked who is your website host, Chris? Are you aware of your website host?
Somebody from Andrew Media created my website. Now I assume that's what Keandra means.
Well, it's basically like it's the platform that it's been built on. So Keandra says most have plugins now, and it's very easy to add. So you might be able to add your store with your items, your print-on-demand items to your website.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the person that did my website, and
good plan.
I'll definitely have a chat with them about that for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Keandra.
Yeah, she's great. Thank you. And goal 3, contact local sporting clubs. This is going to drive me crazy. Let me add that T in there. That'll drive me crazier. Contact local sporting clubs like football, cricket, soccer clubs to organize yearly fundraisers, ways to achieve it. So tell us what exactly that means and what you want to do with that, Chris.
You're
right, mate.
So yeah, I'd like to get oh, excuse me.
You're okay, mate.
Yeah. So for example, like a local footy organisation, like the Geelong Football League or the Geelong District Football League, or there's different leagues around Victoria. So whether it be, a couple of their teams once a year come together and have a competition or a cup, or and there be an entrance fee or something, and funds go, to Will for
Yep.
MND.
Yep.
So
Does
yeah,
anyone? Sorry,
sorry.
Chris. You go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting about the delay. So yes, can be, and I suppose my passion is sport. So, if I can be involved in a sporting organisation, football, cricket, tennis, any, any sporting organisation, yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone know how to make something like that happen? How can Chris make that happen? I myself am a little unsure, to be honest. But I think the next one, which was this, kind of plays into it. So maybe we should have started here first, which is Christopher's asking for tips on what to write, how to write professional letters and emails to get fundraising, sponsorships, and merchandise collaborations. So what sort of stuff do you want to put in these letters exactly, Chris? What do you want them to, what do you want to come across to the other side who's reading it?
I guess, because my writing skills are not, I'm not very good at writing letters or getting the point across. So I guess, who I am, what I do, why I do it, and just why we feel that they should be involved in Will for MND.
Yeah.
And how they can help with, like the above, the merchandise and sponsorship and things like that. Because because my writing skills, as I say, I've never been really good at writing letters.
Posted something the other day actually in the group that will be a little bit helpful, but not quite, which was something called Quillbot, which is an AI tool, but it's more for shorter texts than longer sort of detailed things.
There's some suggestions here in the comments, guys. Put your posts up on local community pages on Facebook. Ask if there are any connections to sporting clubs. I think that's a great one. Rhett says you can do it. Happy to help Chris with that. And also another comment, explain a little bit about what you're doing. Just ask for contacts. That way you can have a conversation direct with them via Facebook or phone. So that's about putting a post out there, explaining what you want, seeing if you've get any replies. So what do you think of that, Chris?
That sounds good. Yeah, I have contacted some sporting clubs, a few years ago, but I got no replies from emails or anything. So that sort of upset me a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's all in the pitch, and I think it's about having the right person help you with that. You know what your objective is, Chris. It's about putting it in wording that captures their attention, and it might even be doing something a bit different to what other charities may do. Think outside the box a bit. What do you think of that? Is that food for thought?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably there's not a lot of organisations that has, someone wheeling 50 Ks a month to raise money for MND. So that's that's something I could put forward to them and
True, exactly. Maybe some of your wheeling can be around around when there's a sporting match going on. I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah.
So Dale from Cognitive Consulting Company. Hi, Dale. He says a little bit of an angled approach, but could you also use AI? Ask it to help you write something. What do you think of that?
ChatGPT could help him out for sure.
Yeah, I did a bit of chat GTP. I think that's when I was doing school stuff. So I've got a little bit of knowledge on that, but I've never used it for writing letters or just mainly getting information with school. But yeah, I could look at that also. Yeah.
I wonder if I was just gonna see how I can get ChatGPT to come up on the screen. How can I share ChatGPT? We can ask him some questions. You know what? I don't actually know. I'm gonna leave that. What else?
It's a really great suggestion, guys. If
Yeah.
you're not confident writing, film a short 60 to 90-second video, then email it or post it to groups, which is
Great
amazing.
one.
Amazing.
That's
Okay.
an awesome suggestion. You've done some good videos too, Chris. I've got to say, Chris he does the ice bucket challenge. Is it your mum you get to help you with that, Chris?
Yeah. My mum tips cold ice all over me while Dad films. Now, Dad's not very technologically advanced, so getting Dad to film has been successful. Yeah. So every year during the winter months, as you can see, I've got a big hairy beard which I grow, and then I shave that off. And I also have the ice bucket challenge in my Collingwood Guernsey as a fundraiser. So if anyone would like to chip in, I think I've got my chuffed link there somewhere. So yeah, if you'd like to chuck in, and I think I did set a target of $1,000 till middle of June, but yeah, there it is. But things are a bit tough, so whatever I can donate, have donated, I'm going to do it anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I started doing that probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I've done it ever since.
I don't know how you do it. You don't even flinch. You don't even blink. It's incredible to watch. I cringe. I cringe watch. I'm like, how are you not just, you don't even, it doesn't phase you. It's crazy.
No. It's a bit, when the ice hits you on the head, it's like the first time I was a bit unsure, but it's for a worthy cause, and
it's really good.
Mm.
Do we have any more suggestions going on in the comments there, Tab? Or
I've got a suggestion. I'm going to throw this in the hat. Since you're such an avid Collingwood supporter, where's Collingwood? Like, how do we get Collingwood's actual attention? Maybe they've got some merch that they can give and auction off.
Hey,
is that nice. Crazy?
Does anyone know a football player from Collingwood in particular?
Look,
I mean, it doesn't have to be Collingwood. I mean, yes, I'm a Collingwood supporter, so obviously merch from Collingwood would be great. But if any football clubs want to get involved, I think approaching Collingwood is probably a little bit harder because they're involved in the Queen's Birthday Freeze MND, with Neil Danaher. So,
okay.
So that's a little bit harder.
Yeah, I understand that, Chris, but maybe they'll donate a piece of merchandise like a frame picture or something like that.
Imagine an old footy jumper or a pair of boots
Yeah.
that's being, or just even the ball from the game of the day. Or
The reason I say this is last year we come across a young man that loved Geelong, and in particular loved one of the players in Geelong at Geelong. And I put a post up in a local group and managed to get the attention of the best mate of this guy's dad.
Okay.
And we ended up having the player go and visit him on his 18th birthday. This young man had had a really bad health battle and still does, but he's actually stayed in contact with him to the best of my knowledge. So, you know, things can happen by putting a post up. The right person sees it, and maybe that's an entry in, but maybe targeting a few clubs. I know you're focusing on local clubs, but maybe there's some that might just, you know, donate a piece of merchandise, perhaps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which could help you with goal one.
it could do.
Because it would
Yes.
bring in a bit more donation money than something like a keyring would.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, that's a really good idea.
Mm.
I think I really like what you're doing here, Chris. It's really
Thank you.
inspiring. I got to say it. It's really commendable. It's inspiring. You're dedicated. It's fantastic. Just keep pushing it. You know, keep rolling, Chris. Keep rolling with it.
Since I've started, like, people have called me so many things, so many nice things, which for my life is pleasant. You know, they've called me a legend. They've called me dedicated. They've called me compassionate, inspiring. You know, so many different things that I haven't heard about me, like, since I've been doing this fundraising. It's, you know,
You are those things.
it's,
You're all those things. It's not everyone's out there doing this, Chris. Who's out there doing this?
not
Who's
not
out
many.
there doing this besides you? Where are they? Who are they? There might be some out there, but not many. So when you see someone out there that's raising $49,000 and they're in a wheelchair themselves, I know you don't have motor neurone disease, it's different, but you're in a wheelchair yourself and you're out there wheeling 50 kilometers a month.
Mm.
That's
Yeah, it's
inspiring. There's people sitting on their desk complaining they don't want to go for a walk down the road. You know what I mean? 5-minute walk down the road. I'm guilty of doing that sometimes. I have a shop down the road that I'm too lazy to walk to. I'd rather jump in a car and drive. You're out here wheeling 50 kilometers a month. Like, it's impressive.
like, I will admit, some days, you know, I think, oh, I don't want to do this and do that, but then, you know, my mind says other things. You know, if you don't do this, you know, I'm also doing it for my fitness as well. So, you know, fitness and donations and the public knowledge is, you know, that sort of brings me back into line and, you know, sort of snaps me out of it. And so get back on the wheelchair, so to speak, and go for it. So, yeah.
You're awesome, Chris. You're really awesome. I've been blessed to be your friend for since a little bit before the group started online. I haven't got to meet you personally yet, but
it will happen.
You've been amazing. You've been an amazing person, and I just really impressed by what you're doing. I really am.
Thank you.
It's just, yeah, not, you're so dedicated to it as well. Like, every day, constant. Like, it's amazing. It's passion. I love it. And you're doing it all in Jenny's honor. And I think she'd be looking down on you right now, and she'd be incredibly proud of the effort you've made, the effort you continue to make, and your dedication to the cause. It's incredible.
Yeah, thank you. People have said to me, why aren't you fundraising for your own disability? Well, for one, people know what to take to prevent, well, not to get rid of spina bifida, but they say to take folic acid, folate, I think it's called, so that helps prevent, getting spina bifida before you're born. So there's that, and so whereas MND, even now there's treatments that they're working on, which has slowed the progression, but it's still a unfortunate death sentence, which is horrible to, in 2024, and there's no cure for, well, obviously a lot of things. So
you'd think that know all this by now and have it under control in some way.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's so sad. But thanks to people like you, Chris, they hopefully will eventually find that cure.
Exactly. Yeah. It's and like I'm doing it. I don't have any government people behind me. No major sponsors. Like Neil Danaher being used to play for Melbourne and Essendon and coach. So he's got all those people behind him. He's got government funding. So there's just me doing it myself.
But look what you've done.
Exactly.
You've raised $49,000. You've won the Pride of Australia award. You're presenting checks every year to MND Victoria. You're one person, but you're making a big impact.
Exactly. Yeah.
You are. Chris, what about visiting or writing to state premiers for advice and assistance? Here's a question.
Yeah, that's something I could, obviously if I was to write to them, I'd, perhaps need some assistance with, I'm sure somebody in the group is able to help me.
Yeah, exactly. Another one, have you tried PR outreach to news and papers? So have you tried to reach out to media?
The short answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
And another short answer is, do they want anything to do with me? The answer is no. I've written to them numerous times, and I think I've had my picture in the paper probably twice.
That's disappointing.
In 7 years. So yes, I have tried the newspapers, but unfortunately, they just don't seem that I'm worthy enough of a big article.
Perhaps by reframing things, like one of the comments before was to film a short 60 to 90-second video. I think doing something a bit different and sending it out, just send it out to a bunch of different media. It can be print media, it could be podcasts, it could be TV, whatever you feel inclined to be part of, and see what happens.
Okay, yep.
Keandra has a really helpful one here, a really great one. I have a list of Geelong press contacts I can send you. Geelong Advertiser, Geelong Independent, Surf Coast Times, The Echo, etc.
She is incredible. Chris, you need to get in touch with Keandra after this live stream.
Definitely, I can see there's going to be some conversation going, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're going to need your professional letters and emails. Get ready to go.
100%. Here's a comment that's going to make you smile. You are absolutely amazing, Chris. I think you deserve Australian of the Year.
Oh, jeez.
That's a big one.
I agree. I think he's amazing. I really do.
That's a lovely comment. I'm not sure I can speak at the moment.
I'm taken back by it.
Definitely, yeah.
I don't think got enough recognition for what he's really done. To be completely honest, in my opinion, he's done so much, but I don't think he's fully been recognised for the effort he's really put in.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, 7 years you've been wheeling around, okay, for this cause, raising all this money and having little media recognition. That it has to hurt a little bit, Chris, because that's a long commitment, and I think that time has to change. And I think we need to take a different approach when it comes to contacting media and all the great comments that have come through, all the great suggestions. I think trying something a little bit different this year would be a great one, because you have that goal. You want to hit 55,000 this year. That's not going to happen if something doesn't change. Isn't that the saying? Nothing changes if nothing changes. Just saying that.
Well, I would. What are some? I just keep thinking about Chris wheeling around in his wheelchair. So he's doing this publicly, right? People are seeing him, but they don't know what he's doing. They just see a person wheeling around in their wheelchair. They don't know the meaning behind what he's doing. They don't know why he's wheeling past the beach doing laps, or, they don't know why he's doing that. So what are some suggestions of things that Chris could be doing whilst wheeling out in public in his wheelchair, doing these 50 kilometers? That takes time. That's a lot of time where people could be seeing his message or his logo or just something, rather than just thinking that they're seeing someone just going for a nice little stroll or roll. Is there suggestions on what Chris could be doing to bring himself a little bit more attention whilst he's doing that? I think might,
Yeah.
I think, go, Chris.
Somebody a couple of years ago, they suggested putting like a sticker or something on the back of my chair.
Yeah.
But my chair, the backrest is sort of curved, so
Okay.
like a sticker or something like that would probably sort of get it's
not
like,
display correctly.
yeah, because the backrest of my chair, as I say, has got a curved rather than it just a flat.
Okay.
Kerry suggests, how about a sign on your chair? Obviously, that's not going to work. Or wearing your shirt with a logo. What do you think of that?
I'd love to get t-shirts or polos with my logo. I did look at Vistaprint and they were just too expensive to start with. And then I'd have to, put in another, say, $5 or $10 to make a profit. So I felt that, and postage. So I felt, for example, I think it was, by the time I'd add all that up, it was about $60 for a polo.
Yeah, it's not sellable at that point, really.
My first thought was a flag, like attaching a flag, but then people might not be able to make out what it says. So that's to get attention. Yeah. But how do you translate that into a message? Keandra suggested a QR code on your wheelchair somewhere. I'm not sure if that's possible if you can't get it, put one on the back. What's your thoughts on that, Chris?
I do have a QR code, but yeah, like with QR codes, I found that they have to be on a flat surface.
Yeah,
I've got
again.
because I've got a donation tin, and to start with, we put it on the side, but it wasn't working because it was curved. So we ended up putting it on the top of the donation tin, and it worked. So unfortunately, it's got to be a flat surface.
Keandra says, not on the chair, but ask to put it on cafe windows or benches near register. Have you tried that before, Chris?
There's a local coffee shop in Leopold. They said that they would post my QR code. That was a few months ago, but
Yeah.
well, they haven't said that they've put it up. And two, if they have, I haven't received any donations, so
Bugger.
I'll have to ask whether they've actually done it. And if they have, I'll have to say, well, there hasn't been any donations come through from it.
Yeah.
I really like Cherry's idea of drawing attention to you when you're doing your 50Ks. I really wish that we had a better idea.
I was even just
would
thinking
be
out
amazing.
flyers. Just every person you pass, give them a flyer.
But you're probably going pretty quick, I reckon, Chris. He'd be pretty fast on that wheelchair.
I don't go slow, yeah. But I mean, yeah, flyers are an idea, but then I'd have to, have a
cost.
big bundle cost and a bundle of them. Stop every time I saw a person.
Yeah. Not viable.
It's a good idea, but yeah, I just, yeah.
Look, maybe there's a way you can stand out. Maybe it's wearing brightly coloured, something brightly coloured, and maybe you could put it out to your group and put it out to the community that you're going to be at certain events. Come say hi to me, that sort of thing. Put it on the community pages.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I like that one too. I did ask Chris, this was ages ago, but I said, have you ever thought about live streaming when you're wheeling around? But what was the problem with that, Chris? I'm sorry, it's just blank.
That's all.
Mine just went blank.
Like with my phone, because like where to set it up on my chair and have a proper phone holder. How is the view? Is the view just going to be of the footpath, or is the view going to be, fully showing people where I'm going? I mean, I'd have to, if that was an idea, I'd have to outsource a phone holder that would fit my wheelchair.
Yep.
Here's a really good one, Chris. Another one from Keandra. Is there any way you can have a live tracker that people can view on the website where you're going or how far you're trekking each day?
That is an awesome idea. I love that.
Like a Fitbit kind of thing.
Yeah, when I was able to, I've used an app on my phone, and it tracks whenever I go for a wheel, and it just goes to the app. But I haven't actually thought of putting it on my website. I'm just trying to see what the app is called. But yeah, it tracks where I go every time. But I haven't actually thought of putting it. Runkeeper is the app, and it actually tracks wheelchair movements. That's another thing I sort of run into. There's not a lot of fitness watches that track wheelchair motions. The only ones that I know of are iPhone watches, and I don't have an iPhone. But this app, it does actually track how far I go. So I haven't actually thought of putting it on my website, which I could do, but I don't know whether it live tracks as I'm actually wheeling.
We'll have to find out what Uber Eats and stuff use, because I bought an Uber Eats for the first time not too long ago, and I could see the driver, like they were driving to get my order, and then they turned around and went, I'm thinking, why are you going that way? That's a stupid way to go. And I was watching them.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see what system they use. Yeah.
I've pulled up your website, Chris. Because Chris asked me a little while ago when he just got this website done, what else should he put on it? And we'd love people's suggestions. I did not help him make this website. He got this made by Andrew Media.
Yes.
But so we'll just have a quick flick through. So
there's a few things that still need some adjustments, but
yeah, that's all right. It's a work in progress. All websites are a work in progress. You get it up, right? And you take a look at it and you think it's all good, and you have another look at it, you're like, oh, just tweak this little piece here, and then that's another hour gone. And
exactly.
These are Chris's key rings he was speaking about earlier. These are what he's got for sale here.
So I could add that to the what were we talking about before, the print on demand, perhaps.
Yeah, this little image here, you could totally put that on a whole range of things, actually. And I'll, because I helped to make this image, I wouldn't use this particular one because this edging, it won't fit everything and it'll look crap. It'll leave a gap. You don't want that. You don't want that crappy gap, okay?
No.
So we've got here, learn about MND. So he's got all his links here. If anyone wants to find out more about motor neurone disease, these are some of the better links to have a look at. We've got Chris's donation page. Does this show this here? Yep. So he's got, is this your total for this year so far?
That's since I've had the page. Because I also have a bank account specifically for the donation. So some people donate to the bank account and some people. So that's probably since I've had it.
This is cool. It's really cool. You can get involved. I've got Chris's Facebook. This is really cool. It's a nice little site.
We have another great comment. Could you add updates on where you're going and when? Maybe start a hashtag and take photos with people throughout your day and get them to upload the image to socials with the hashtag and tag your page in it. Maybe that's how to get you, because you've got a great group. I think there's about 1,000 people in there. Perhaps some of them could meet you along their route or your route, and then perhaps they take a picture with you and they share it with their hashtag. That's a cool idea. I like it.
Okay, yeah.
Idea. What are some things, because Chris has asked me this in the past, what are some things that he could put to his group to reactivate it? He was saying it's not quite as active as it used to be. How can he when did that sort of die down a little bit, Chris? Was it more over COVID?
Yeah, I think sort of COVID is sort of, obviously my donations didn't go as well, and just like even now, I could probably count on one hand how many active members in my group.
Yeah.
Out of 1,100 members, only probably 5 or 6 active members. It's not.
Yeah. What sort of posts are going up in there on a regular sort of basis? Like, what are you posting in the group exactly?
Not much at the moment, I suppose, because I'm not being able to wheel anywhere, so I haven't been putting where I've gone for wheel, or if I see something MND related, whether someone's passed away from MND, I'll pop a little article in there, but it's not I'm not posting something every hour or every day. just when I see something, or if I'm updating the group on my wheeling or something,
Yeah.
or an event.
You need something that's gonna spruik them up to talk a bit more in there to reactivate things. Are some of the people in your group, do they have motor neurone disease, or are they just support it, or?
Yeah, they're probably 90% of the people in that group, or
Yep.
between 80 to 90%, they're friends of mine.
Okay.
So
You got a lot of friends, Chris.
I suppose from school, and
Yeah.
I suppose people that I've met at events have
Yeah.
become friends. So it's
Oh, that's
friends,
nice.
it's friends, but also friends from events.
Yeah.
So probably 900 of those aren't friends. They're just
Yeah.
friends that have become friends, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean. I think, yeah, try and schedule some stuff in, I reckon, a bit more regularly, but something that's going to be interactive to get people talking, because that'll get you popping up, because there's a chance, because if it's not as active as it was, there's a chance it'll just stop sort of showing up in people's algorithms, because they're not seeing it, they're not clicking it, they're clicking other things. So the algorithm's like, yep, they want that, let's show them that. And then eventually your group will get kind of weeded down to the bottom. So we've got to get it back into the algorithm.
It's an awesome comment from Keandra, who I must add has a lot of experience with groups and pages. She has she's had multiple businesses with, I think tens, tell me if I'm wrong, 10 or 20 sort of thousand people on them. She suggested do a live video to reactivate it. Tell them where you're at and reconnect them to your story. That this actual live is being beamed into his group right now. Perhaps we do a second one, Chris, where it's you sharing a bit about where you're at and about your injury and your goals going forward, things like that. She also says it will also boost the group's algorithm, so people will see your posts again. Very good point. Cherry echoed that as well. What do you think about that? Are you confident to do a live video?
Well, now that I've done this one, because this is my very first live one, I was pretty nervous to start with, but I reckon, I could, just practice, recording something and then thinking, okay, I'll actually make it live. So I'm pretty confident that I could, do more lives to activate the group again and see where they're at.
I like what Pierre said, reconnecting them to your story, because that's important. That's important.
Yeah, she's also added, you'd never know this was your first live. You're a natural. So there you are. There's some confidence.
Thank you.
It's all good, Chris. I'm not this is way out of my box. Normally I might talk for say 2 minutes and I've got terrible audio and I stumble on my words and I sound terrible, and
your audio is doing well.
Bad at it. And I'm just not looking at the live screen, so I'm pretending we're just on the telephone.
Okay.
So that's how I'm getting through it.
Well, we've run past our hour, guys, so it's time to wrap up.
Wow. There we go.
It's been very productive. I've got so much to do.
But you've also got a team around you, Chris, so don't feel like you're alone. You've got people like Keandra putting their hand up, several others in the comments. You can go through them later on tonight if you like, or tomorrow morning. There'll also be a bunch of people watching tomorrow. We know that happens quite regularly with our podcast. So be aware you may have a few more comments to go through in the coming days. But yeah, it's been wonderful. Cherry, you did an awesome job. Chris, you did amazing. But we're on your side, Chris, and anything that you think we can help with, you just have to ask. Put your hand up and ask and say, hey, I need your help, and we will help you.
Thank you. That's lovely to hear. Thank you.
And then just one last thing. If anyone listening does want to support Chris in his mission, here's the link to do so. This is his page where he takes donations for Wheel for MND Motor Neurone Disease research through his charity Wheel for MND. So if you'd like to support Chris in any way, you can donate there. He also, if you head to his website, let me scroll up slightly. This one here, wheel4mnd.org. You can find everything about Chris there. Yeah, thank you for tuning in tonight, everyone. We really appreciate your suggestions. Is there anything you want to say before we hang up the live, Chris?
In my group, I'm running a numbers, I suppose you call it a numbers board. That found Kate from Fantasy Creations.
Kate from Fantasy Creations. Yep.
Yes, she's created a wonderful MND doll. That is going up. That's what is one prize. So it's $5 per number. Just put in the comments, or there's a whole list of numbers that are available. $5 for the number. Just message me what number you would like, and go to the Chuff link to put in your donation. And that'll be drawn on June the 21st, which is MND Day. So
beautiful.
Yep. So
can I just add that doll is made by WA fiber artist Kate Cook, and she's a beautiful artist, and the doll is absolutely gorgeous, and it's custom made for this cause. So definitely have a look at that, and jump on Chris's group as well.
I'll post the link to that on Facebook for you, Chris, on the 11/11 hour Facebook page. So if anyone would like to contribute to Chris's number game for his donations for Wheel for MND, and to try and win the little doll, which is super cute, head over to the Facebook page and we'll link it on there.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. That's what she's done is just amazing. It's such a cute little doll. It
is adorable. And it's expressive too. It's got this real cute face. I like it.
Yep.
She looks sassy.
It does.
All right, everyone. If what's the time? Wow, we've gone 15 minutes over, so we'll hang it up. Goodbye, everybody. Have a lovely night. Thank you so much for helping Chris tonight and brainstorming with us.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.